Hello, I'm not going to start this video like I usually do because some people lately have just been on the channel giving me a bit of grief about it. So, hello everybody. How are you today? If you're really lucky by the end, I might tell you a sensational riddle that I learnt today. But that's not what we're here to do. We're here today to look at cylinders. The last of the prisms that's on your booklet in that first while. So I've got the example one here, and I've actually got the practice problem that are on this sheet. So there's the example and practice problem just up there a little bit. Hope no one got motion sickness. So cylinders, once again, if we think about it, it's the same deal. The area of our top bit, I'm just colouring the bottom bit here because they're the same circle, and times by how deep it is. Now, I'm not going to use depth in this case. I'm actually going to use height. Okay, and I'll show you a little bit of my reasoning why. Now, the actual formula is the volume is the area part of a circle, so pi r squared, and then times by the height. So area times by height. Just imagining lots of little discs or little circles as we work our way up this particular part of our circle. Now, the reason I used height is because sometimes, and you need to be very aware of this, if we have a line that goes from all the way across the circle, it's actually called the diameter. And of course, we use D to label that. One of the reasons I didn't use D. But in this question, we need a R. So, always remembering that our radius is half our diameter, or diameter divided by 2. A very important fact, and most maths teachers love to throw in a sneaky diameter question when they're dealing with a cylinder. You'll notice that the examples don't have them, but if you run into the questions later on the sheet, just be careful. That's always the first thing you should be checking. Do I have a radius or do I have a diameter? So in this case, we actually do have a radius. So volume is equal to pi. Now I use 3.14. You're welcome to use the calculator. But I use 3.14 for pi and my radius, and then this little 2 here, remember this means squared, not times by 2, but times by itself. So times by 6 squared, and then times by my height here, which is 11. So if we have a look here, it's 3.14 times 6, I'm just going to press my squared button, or 6 times 6, which is 36, and then times the finally by 11, and that's going to give me a volume of 1,243.44. And of course, the units are feet this time, so feet cubed. Welcome to our American viewers, which hopefully there are none, because this should be for my class alone. If we have a look here, we've got our paired problem that's sitting along here, so I'm just going to write that up the top, a paired problem. And then I'm going to pause the video, or you're going to pause the video, sorry, I can't pause it, I'm making it. You're going to pause the video and give this a go. Okay, so I'll get back to you when you've restarted it. Okay, rightio. So here's our paired problem. Noticing, of course, that this is our radius of 4 and a height of 13 inches. So if we have a look, our volume, once again, the area of a circle, so pi r squared, and then, of course, times by the height or depth of our particular rectangle. We already went through why we don't use D. So I always like to write the formula first and then fill it in. So 3.14 times 4 squared times, of course, by 13. And that's going to give us, well, 4 squared is 16. So 3.14 times 16 times 13 gives me an answer of 653.12. And, of course, that is in inches cubed. Don't forget your units. Especially if you're not working in something that you're not used to, or especially if you are working in something that you're not used to. So that should mean now that you should be capable to take on this particular set of questions here. So looking at this, as I said, be careful. This is a perfect example where we've given you a diameter. So here you can see we've given you a radius. This one we've given a diameter. Notice, before I even did anything else, this is the first thing that I had to look at. So if we have a look at this 8 millimeters, I'm going to, of course, take it and half it. And so my radius is going to be 4 millimeters for this question. Be careful with this one too. It's also a diameter. Okay, so that was cylinders. Hope you enjoyed it. Catch you next time.